En net zoals elke andere week bespreken we natuurlijk ook fantasy hier bij Touchdown Live. Met onze vaste fantasy expert all the way from the US of A, Mr. Bobby McMahon. Bobby, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Let's start you off with Neil. I think he's got a waiver wire question for you.
No. I just want to apologize to everyone who plays fantasy. I forgot to do all my subs. And then I was doing a show yesterday and I suddenly thought, I just forgot all my subs. So I think 60 points on my bench yesterday. I think that's the worst feeling you could ever have playing fantasy.
Did you not read about this morning in the paper in the U.S.? It was a big story, man. All over Boston. Neil forgot to put in his fantasies.
But have you? Do you put in reminders in your phone, or you're probably doing it every day, fantasy? But
Yeah, Neil, it's disappointing to hear that. But yeah,
you know what's even more painful? Your look you're giving me now.
Yeah,
This is even more worse.
This is the I'm not angry, I am disappointed look.
Next time when you're in Boston, don't even call me Neil. That look.
Hey, man, I'm going to start it up.
Gotta get the reminders set in your phone. There's no excuses.
Hey, work that waiver wire for us, bro. Work it. What we got? A couple of names coming out there.
Yeah, we have a few names. We got Bilal Powell from the Jets. Obviously, he's going to be playing in a little bit. But past 3 weeks, he's been catching the ball a lot. He's got 6 catches in each of the last 3 games, eating into Matt Forte's workload a little bit. And if anything ever happens to Forte, we're looking at a nice top 20 running back in Bilal Powell. So I think he's worth picking up right now if he's in your league and you need some running back depth. Cam Meredith, we saw 2 weeks in a row now. He's had big games. We talked a little bit a few weeks ago about Kevin White. He's basically just assumed all of Kevin White's targets. He's getting targeted more than Alshon Jeffrey is in this offense that's going to throw the ball a ton with Brian Hoyer. Cam Meredith's definitely wide receiver 3 option for you. And Marcus Mariota, who I was high on coming into the league, and then he really pissed me off a few weeks into the season. But now he's redeeming himself with 2 really nice matchups, 7 TDs over the past 2 weeks. He's starting to bounce back, and he's definitely on some waiver wire. So if you need quarterback help, pick him up because he's got a nice schedule these next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I have 2 quarterbacks. I have Mariota and Cam Newton. What's your advice for the next couple of weeks?
Well, for next week, Cam Newton's on bye, so you're definitely going to sit him and play Mariota.
I started Mariota last week, this week, so that was a good choice because he had more points.
That was good. And then next week he gets Indy, and the Colts have just been leaking fantasy
atrocious,
points. Man.
Their defense is
definitely in for a good start. I mean, obviously, when healthy, Cam's going to be the guy you're going to roll with more often than not, but it's good to have a nice backup like Mariota for sure.
Yeah, and a question I think you don't get a lot. Defensive special teams, what are good teams to pick up?
Well, I usually go week to week. Patriots, looking at next week's matchup. Patriots are a good one playing against Landry Jones. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously Big Ben's out, so that matchup went from really exciting to not so much.
Yeah.
And I like the Patriots because I really don't like Landry Jones at all. And the Cincinnati Bengals are a good one for next week. I think the Bengals, the Browns, the Bengals are a pretty good unit. So they're one that could be out there on your waiver wire. You scoop them up and plug them right in your lineup.
Thanks.
There you go.
I'm writing them all down now, Bobby.
Bobby, my depth at running back is very thin, and there are people that are really wanting Hopkins. What do you think is a nice value to get for Hopkins? Someone offered me Jordan Howard and Sterling Shepard.
That's not bad. I'd want a better receiver back than Sterling Shepard. I like getting Jordan Howard, though, a lot. I think that could be good for your running back depth. But if I'm trading a stud like Hopkins, I want like a number 2 wide receiver back, and Shepard's more of a number 3. So if you can go back to him and squeeze out another wide receiver from him out of that mix, then I like that for you because Jordan Howard is legit. He'll definitely help you out.
You see, and that's why I always take you back to reality, my man, because even talking about trading somebody as DeAndre Hopkins is insanity to me. I don't care what we talk about, fantasy, schmantasy, real life, meal life, whatever it is. You cannot trade a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, can you?
No, he's a stud. But honestly, when Will Fuller is playing, and obviously Will Fuller didn't play a snap last night, but when Will Fuller's playing, he's kind of eating into a DeAndre Hopkins work a little bit. And Brock Osweiler has been so hit or miss.
Oh, man.
and it's just painful. It's painful to watch if you're a Hopkins owner. But I mean, if you're in a tough spot, sometimes you got to trade a stud to get 2 players back and help your lineup. But yeah, it'd be tough to part with Hopkins. That's why I'd want a really nice receiver coming back my way with Howard if I was to give him up.
100%. All right, man. You know what we do every week, right? We keep it freaking real. So how about we talk about, well, apparently he always has been, not always has been, for the last couple of years, the best quarterback in the National Football League. I'm pretty sure you know who we're talking about. What is wrong with Mr. Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, man, wish I knew. I mean, last year we kind of wrote it off as Jordy Nelson was, out for the year with the ACL. Jordy's back. He's obviously not as explosive or really making those super explosive plays that he used to make downfield. And the whole offense is paying for it. I mean, Eddie Lacy's overweight and slow. He just doesn't have the same burst that he had a few years ago. Randall Cobb is okay, but he's a complementary type of player. He really needs Jordy Nelson to be making plays in order for him to get loose in space. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, completion percentage has been an issue for Aaron Rodgers, which was never a problem for him in his career. He's still a top 10 quarterback because he's still going to put up pretty good numbers, but I don't know if we're going to see just a flick of the switch back to 2 or 3 years ago when he was the toast of the league. I think he's more, top 5, top 7 guy than definitely top 2 or 3, which he was a couple of years ago.
No, I agree with you. And the worst thing is you see a 31 for 42 stat line for 294. You think, hey, that's not bad, but it's just not Aaron Rodgers. And like you said, there's no timing. I think Mike McCarthy has reached his expiration date as a coach for the Packers as well because he's not scheming anybody open. It's a problem.
No, it's painful.
I think we're going to finish you off with your golden nugget of the week, my man, Bob.
He needs his own tune.
That's what I said after week 2 last year.
The golden nugget.
There it is.
Golden nugget. I like that. That's not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Mr. Bobby McMahon's golden nugget of the week.
Oh, man, what a setup here. I really have to deliver. I'm going to say that you need to stay patient with your studs. We talked about DeAndre Hopkins a little bit earlier. He's obviously a stud. The guy I want to talk about is Allen Robinson. Hasn't hit more than 72 receiving yards in the season in any one game. Hasn't been above like 55 in any game in the last 4 games. He's got 3 touchdowns. He had like 14, 15 last year. Stick with him. He's getting the targets. He's gonna get open. He's got a great matchup against the Raiders. I'm looking to trade for Allen Robinson anywhere I can. DeAndre Hopkins is in that same boat. Alshon Jeffrey in that same boat. These are guys who are proven studs and aren't performing as such right now. But I'm willing to stay patient with those type of guys and let them come to fruition because I think you'll be benefiting from it later on in the season.
Nice one.
If that's not gold, I don't know what is, man. I don't know what is. Bobby, appreciate you coming on again,
Bobby.
my man. We'll see you next week.
Try to give you your own tune next week.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, Bob.
Have a good one.
Guys, be
Bye-bye,
well.
man. See ya.
Bye.